Welcome everybody to the OMAs 2021 Oshawa Music Awards presented by Durham Region Economic Development and Tourism. And this project is also brought to you by Sparks Center and many other award sponsors. My name is Matt Lane and I'm one of the hosts of the broadcast today called OMA Talks. I also host a music industry podcast known as A Chat with Matt that's available across all major streaming platforms. The OMAs is in its fourth year celebrating music across Durham Region, including in Ajax, Brock, Clarington, Oshawa, Pickering, Scugog, and Whitby. This year, the OMAs is being presented in a series of 3 broadcasts. Today's broadcast is the first of the 3, known as OMA Talks. We get to sit down, meet, get to know all 25 of the award nominees. The second broadcast is called OMA Honors and will be live streamed on September 16th to pay tribute to the music industry leader of the year and Lifetime Achievement Hall of Fame recipients. And finally, September 23rd is our live award show where all the award winners will be announced. All right, before we meet all of the Oshawa Music Award 2021 nominees, we'd like to take a moment to invite you to learn about the indigenous lands that we call home. As we are broadcasting from Durham Region, we would like to situate ourselves accordingly. We would like to acknowledge here that we are gathered in Durham Region on the ancestral territory of the Mississaugas and the area covered by the Williams Treaty. We are grateful for the opportunity to live together, work, and learn on the lands of the people of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation. Subsequent indigenous nations and people, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. We hope that this acknowledgement sparks a desire in you to learn about our shared history, provoke thought, reflection, and change, which are the starting point of creating respectful and reciprocal relationships. All right, in this OMA Talk session, myself and my co-host Will McGurk are going to be speaking to the nominees in these music categories: Durham Song and Songwriter of the Year, presented by Trent University Durham GTA; Emerging Artist or Band of the Year, Music Video of the Year, Artist or Band of the Year, presented by 360 Insights; and Album and Single of the Year. I'm very excited to sit down with the talent, learn what's going on in Durham Region, and see what the future has in store for these artists and now. All right, let's get started.
Hello, hi. I'm Will McGurk, and I have the wonderful pleasure of starting up these chats with these emerging artists. So this is an emerging talk with some emerging artists, which I think is a really kind of, it's always my favorite part of all of this, these awards, is to see who's up and coming. Let's start off with Hollow Sage, maybe a little bit of an intro about yourself.
For sure. My name is Sagen Pierce. My band's called Hollow Sage and the 3 Mile Islanders. Singer-songwriter originally from Sault Ste. Marie, but I live in Uxbridge, actually just north of Uxbridge in Sanford, Ontario, and I work in Markham, and that's me.
That is nice. Sault Ste. Marie, and now Uxbridge. How long have you been in the Uxbridge?
Almost 2 years now.
Yeah, and were you doing music up there up in the Sault?
Nope.
No, you weren't doing anything up there, eh? Really? That's a great little spot up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
It's a little festival that I used to go to up there. Well, prior. Hopefully, we'll go to it next year. The River and Sky Festival.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
It's a great little spot. I go up to that and hang out with those wonderful folks up there. Okay, so we're going to go with. I'm going to say Darima, but you correct me if I'm mispronouncing that.
No, yeah, you actually got it. It's Narima. Yeah. A lot of people pronounce it wrong, but you got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're Narima. We're a teen alt indie rock band from Toronto, kind of like Durham Region, but we're hoping to play a lot of our shows in downtown Toronto because the scene's really cool there.
Where you met?
Okay, yeah, I'm Connor. I'm the bassist, and the whole story is basically I know Alexi through school, and we were in some of the same classes, and then she was like, "I need a bassist for the band," and I was like, and since we were just friends, I just came over one day and just tried it out, and I was like, hey, this is fun.
Great.
What about you, Joe?
I'm Joseph, lead guitarist, and I just joined like a month ago officially.
Well, welcome, Joseph.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm Alex. I'm the drummer. I know, well, me and Lexi are cousins, so we grew up together. And when she wanted to start a band, she approached me and asked me. And
and I'm Alexi. I've always wanted to be in a band, but I didn't really know any people who actually played instruments. So I kind of was like, I'll just get people that I do know and hope that they learn and it goes well. So
The other lads with the nothing special moniker on them when they're actually quite the opposite. Introduce yourself to all the folks.
Hello, I'm Dan. I sing and play guitar in Nothing Special. We're from Oshawa, Whitney area.
I'm Gabe. I'm also in Nothing Special. I met Dan through the drummer in our band, Spencer. And from then on, we've just been playing music together for the past 4 years and having fun. We're based.
I'm James. I play bass in Nothing Special. I went to high school with Gabe and Spencer, and I was playing bass for the choir one day and was trying to teach Gabe how to play Slip It In by Black Flag. And he was like, hey, this guy knows punk rock. So he hit me up and he was like, you want to come play bass guitar for us in the band? And the rest is history.
Nice. All right. So that's everybody knowing everybody else. But I think that this is a really interesting time to be an emerging band, like I said. And you guys have been together for a little bit of time, I think, with the special and Narima and Sheridan. You said that you had come down here. You've been here 2 years. That's pretty bad timing. So tell me about what happened when you got here. And how you sort of overcame the last 2 years of no shows and no music and nothing to do. Yeah,
I wasn't playing a whole lot anyways, so it didn't really affect me.
Yeah.
I play like once a month, but I've been down in the GTA area for about 10 years. I should have thrown that in there. But I work at a funeral home in Markham, and so the pandemic's been pretty difficult for everyone at work in regards to staff and the families that we're serving. So just kind of helping people through like the worst time of their lives during one of the worst times in our lives. It was just like one thing on top of another. So just working through that for the past year and a half, 2 years. It's been difficult, but rewarding a lot of ways, just kind of helping folks that way. But in regards to the music, I wasn't really doing a whole lot beforehand. I released the album in February 2020, which is a great time to release an album.
Talk to me about the name and who are the 3 Mile Islanders.
The name is just a moniker. I didn't really want to use my real name. Just I didn't want to mix my professional life and kind of the music stuff together. Just if someone Googles me, I don't know. I just felt weird about it. So Hollow Sage is hollow insides. I'm just kind of spilling my guts out on stage for the most part. And then the 3 Mile Islanders is kind of a rotating list right now. I've got some great musicians that I can call upon when they're available. But yeah, there's a good list.
Who's some of those? You're up in you're sort of part of that wonderful Uxbridge scene that's happening out there.
Yes.
I imagine it floats around the Wedge and Wiccans, and there's a whole bunch of open mics, and there's Jeff Holt around.
Yes, he lives up the street from me. Yeah, he's great.
He is fabulous, and Bodan and Mac Gunn and stuff. Are you working with all those guys? Are those guys kind of?
I haven't played with any of them. We've hung out quite a bit, but I haven't played any music with them.
Yeah.
No.
So how have you been finding when you as your music and music in general sort of like, I imagine you've been working quite a lot. Do you find music has been a bit of a balm, a bit of a solace for you, more than normal?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. When I do get time off, music's the one thing that I want to do. So I've been working on an album the last, I guess, through the whole pandemic, with Kevin Kerr, A Future History. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so just kind of putting everything into that. It's been very cathartic.
Yeah. Let's jump to the Nothing Special guys and have a bit of a chat. You guys have been around. How long have you been around? I'm somewhat familiar with you, but I forget.
We kind of like started writing tunes together maybe like, let's say like 3.5, almost 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We started like releasing some demos and stuff, but we just kind of like formally started releasing music this past December. So we've been around just like having fun for the last little while. For I guess, like 4 years or so. We've played quite a few shows in the past 2 years, maybe. Minus COVID, obviously.
Yes. So how does that? What do you guys do during that time? How did that impact you? And obviously with the your intentions and your plans.
So we had plans to do like 15 shows. We'd had them booked for April of 2020, and COVID hit, and they all just kind of like fell apart. A lot of those venues, unfortunately, are no longer active. And we honestly just decided we were going to wait it out a little bit and decided there wasn't any point waiting because things weren't changing. So we just started recording more songs. So we've just tried to kind of push through, keep busy. I know, James, what would you say?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good opportunity to work on music outside of live performance. Spent more time recording. We've been spending a lot of time in the past few months writing new music. I guess it's just we're able to focus on that kind of stuff a lot more than shows, which it's not necessarily one is better than the other. They're just different, I guess.
Yeah, so I think it's because, I mean, the last time we played a show, right, was long. I guess it's almost like a year and a half now, right? So I think it's definitely going to be interesting and to see, what happens. I know we've definitely played our shows to 3 people, like, where the people in the band, there's more people in the band than there are in the audience. And I think it's nice to keep that humility, right? So you don't have to be, we're definitely not expecting to get back into shows where we're playing into like filled out crowds or anything like that. So I think it's more so we try to expect the minimum and then be gracious for, a bigger.
Is it the same thing, Narima? Is it the same thing with you? Did you give you extra time kind of to study on your bass and your YouTube?
Actually, a lot of my improvement came through the pandemic because I was just stuck at home with nothing to do other than like video games. I'll go biking sometimes and just play bass for hours. So I learned a lot of cool techniques and just got like much better than I was since the pandemic started. So that was gave me a lot of time to practice, which was great.
Tell me how it's going to be for you lot when you, again, well, it's a great award. I love it, and you guys are going to emerge. But there's many sort of layers to that. Now you're going to emerge out into a live situation with a different way of coming to music, because there is that idea that sometimes you just learn in front of people. You know what I mean? You just every show you just get better and better and better. But essentially, for you and your generation of musicians for the last couple of years, it's been in the studio doing studio work. And how do you feel about? I mean, have you played live, Narima? Have you been out in front of people? Have you done any of that usual rock and roll stuff?
I mean, it was kind of hard for us because we formed at the end of, was it 2018?
2019.
We formed at the end of 2019. So, and obviously they were beginners, so we couldn't actually play for another few months. Mm-hmm. So by the time they were finally like stage ready, I think that was about March, and we were finally like, maybe we can play a show. COVID came, so we were all so ready to play live, and then we just couldn't. We got one show in before all the lockdowns, and that was amazing for us, but we felt just so inexperienced, So we had the one show and then just couldn't play for a long time. We did internet stuff, but it wasn't really the same. Mm-hmm. So now coming back, we're kind of I don't know about them, but I'm a little bit terrified because, you know, like we're coming back to a place that misses live music so much and like a scene that just wants to get back into it. But we still have just so little experience that, you know.
But we did play for the Oshawa Music Week, which was great. But that wasn't really in front of an audience. But recently we went up to Uxbridge, actually, so where Hollow Sage plays, and we played a show live in front of a bunch of people. One of our biggest shows, which was really fun to play. Played it with New Anthem, and so that was like one of our basically our second live performance with an audience sort of thing, and it was really great. And we're excited to it's starting back up, and we can start getting more and more shows to get more experience.
Okay, so then that's I think we're probably getting close to me having to throw this over to the wonderful. Matt, a chat with Matt Lane, but I would just like to just say thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. I'm happy that you guys. I think you all have to just clap yourself on the back too. It's been a very, very difficult time. There's been an awful lot of obstacles, and you guys are still committed to music. After all of this, then I think that there's hope for us all. It was a really good time to go. Find and. Well, not even find a job doing anything else, but you know what I mean. Like it's a lot to be able to just sort of commit, and to emerge with your appreciation and hope for music intact. I think you've already done the work. In other words, you paid your dues. So enjoy your time playing, and I hope to see you all live. I think the Nothing Special in Narima, I might be further back in a very big hall, but the Hollow Sage station, I'm pretty sure I might see you up at some cidery or a brewery up there, and I think that'll be fabulous, and we'll have a nice chat. So thank you all very much. Very much appreciate you guys taking the time. And good
Thanks,
luck.
Will.
You as well.
Thank you so much.
Okay, guys.
He's been staying up late and lying to everyone. He was supposed to love, but he's made a wall to hide us all from the bomb that he's become. Nuclear family, the one that everyone wants to be. Just like on TV. I wish the world could see us explode.
How's it feel taking every pointed word? Do you still think you found home? How's it feel taking every pointed sword? Do you still think you can let go? Ain't it fun when the devil appears in you? Poison leaks into every line. Ain't it fun when he's lying on the cold ground too? And you haven't lost every fight, but you don't wanna leave, cause you're terrified. Though I know you'd sooner see that devil die. So I'll beg the angels to let you in. You suffered too long now from someone else's sin, and you can never forget it. And so beg the demons to leave you alone. Spent too long there, now they're calling you home. And now you're running from something true. So hold it close and let him run from you. terrified now. You're finally free, but you still keep one eye open when you fall asleep. And the memories are fading. No life's taken quite this long before.
Wonderful, Will. Thank you so much for that amazing conversation. I'm happy to continue it over here. We are here today to talk with the nominees for the Songwriter and Durham Song of the Year. Today, I'm joined by Tania Joy, the Rockin Krolik, who I will be referring to as JF, and Daniel Raymond. How are y'all doing today?
Doing great.
Thanks. I kind of want to start since we're in the songwriting section, and I love discussing songwriting with fellow songwriters. With the actual songwriting itself, at what point did you start to realize that that's where you wanted to focus your energy on in life?
Good question. Okay, I'll take it. For me, it's been a bit of a journey. It's not like one day I decided, okay, I'm going to be a songwriter and do just that, because in a way I'm a jack of all arts. So, and I really enjoy performing. So picking up a guitar and singing, there was the performance, doing covers and such, and then with the there's the Cranberries. The Cranberries were the start of me wanting to actually write songs and learn how to play. They had the first album was Everybody Else Is Doing It, so why can't we? So I thought, why can't I?
So, Tania, the same question for you. Like, tell me about your songwriting career and getting started in now.
Well, it actually started at the beginning of my musical journey for me, which was pretty later in life. I was sort of going through some tough emotional times, and I'm an artist who paints and draws and does some design outside of music. And so I think putting pen to paper was a way to sort of get through some challenges that I was having. So I began to write right away, and it was more of a focus than even the playing at first. So it really helped me. My first EP I wrote about 8 years ago, and it really just helped me transition through some tough times. And then I've focused a lot of my energy. I've taken great workshops like Song Studio in Toronto and met lots of other writers and been inspired to continue on and develop the songwriting and release more music, which I've done this year. So it kind of leads the charge, I would say, the writing over the playing.
Yeah, Daniel, let's talk about your songwriting, your career. I'm very curious.
It's funny because I hesitate to call it a career in some ways, and maybe that's just being self-protective, but I started off wanting to be a professional musician in my 20s and played in a band around this area called Mitchell's Corner. It was previously called Easy Access and different things, and we sort of gave it a shot and released a few things and toured. And then I lived in Peterborough for a while and tried to continue the music part, and sort of felt like this isn't, it wasn't something that was going to happen to me, and pivoted to, I'm now like a mental health and addictions professional and a college professor. So it's something I came back to very recently, and probably I'm Rockin Krolik. I'm not going to remember your
your initials, so I'm just going to call you Rock. So just there is a certain amount.
Perfect. Keep it.
Yes. There's a certain amount of I think death inspired me to get back to writing, in the sense that as I grew older, you start to reflect on, what am I going to do with this, with the rest of my life? And it was something I missed. There's a large amount of creativity and collaboration, a lot of things that are musical in being in the mental health and addictions profession and in teaching, and yet there was something missing that was just more personal. That it just happened. It just came upon me. It wasn't something I decided to do. It was something I just really felt I needed to do or wanted to do. If that makes sense. It wasn't.
So we are here on the OMAs. Let's talk about, my favorite thing to talk about is stories behind songs, because once you learn what the story behind a song is, you feel like you understand not only the song more, but understand that person and what they were dealing with at that time or whatever was happening. So let's start with Daniel. Daniel, the song that's nominated for Durham Song of the Year, tell us a bit more about that.
That's a relatively straightforward song, and it was an active decision. My wife got me a banjo for Christmas that year, and I'm like, okay, I want to write a song on tenor banjo, so 4-string banjo. So you can, if you know guitar, you can play it a little easier. And I remember there's a line from a Steve Martin album, a comedy album, where he said, you can't write a sad song on a banjo. And I'm like, perfect, because all I seem to write is sad songs. So this banjo might be the cure. So I had the banjo, and I was just sort of playing around with tunes and melodies. And I just thought, well, what are some things I enjoy instead of some things that bother me? And so the song's just basically about, it's funny because it's Durham Song of the Year, but in a way it's about driving up to Peterborough with my wife. I was like, I love my wife. My kids weren't born then, so my kids aren't in the song, but I love my wife. I love coffee. I love heading up to Peterborough. And it's just a simple song about driving with someone you love. And Bob Dylan's in there. There's reference to Tangled Up in Blue. So it was almost like when Tania talks about songwriting workshops, it was almost like, can you write a positive song about things you like and banjo? But I wrote it and left it because it was with a country-ish band I was playing with at the time, and then I sort of rediscovered it and refigured it a bit for guitar and piano. But that's where it came from.
JF, how about you?
The story behind the song, it started with Gwen Twinman's event. It's she runs a group of women creative called the Wild Nellies. So that was one event at the now I can't remember the place in Oshawa, that sort of museum exhibition center.
Yep.
Can't remember the actual name of the place, but anyways. And she literally read the novel she wrote about her experience with domestic violence from early ages as a kid, and then moving on to married life and so on. And she was reading it like to an audience that was just kind of like, sort of in shock. And I was completely drawn in. Like it's the way she wrote this was just, it's just raw again. I think I get attracted to that too. The fact that these are the facts. This is how I felt. So I read, I took it, I bought the novel, I read it. And as I was reading it, I realized, okay, the reason why I'm drawn to this is also because in my childhood, my mom experienced that. Well, we experienced that as kids. It was not so much physical violence, but very like psychological heaviness and violence in the household from my dad. So right away it was kind of like, okay, I need to let it out.
Moving on to you, Tania. I know you mentioned earlier it was a racially charged incident that the song is about. If you don't feel like going into too much detail, of course, you don't need to at all. But just if you'd like to tell us about the song and just some of the story behind it.
I had been struggling in 2020 with the death and the murder of George Floyd. and I hadn't really responded to it. I've seen, friends and family and on the news, people responding in different ways. And I was sort of, stuck and unable to really comment and process it, because this is something that, has been around all my life, but I really have avoided it in many ways. I grew up in Markham, and I kind of successfully managed to, get through life without too many run-ins with the subject, or I found a way to kind of avoid it. So when George Floyd died, it kind of took me out. Like, I was really down and quite depressed about things and where the world is at, and so for many months I didn't really respond to it. And so when it came to that ask and that permission almost to write that song that I was afraid to write, I knew that was the one. And there had been an incident in August of 2020 in Uxbridge, where I live now, that really, again, kind of, because it was so close to home and a place that I love, that really kind of brought it to the forefront again. So I just went there for that song. I needed to exercise my emotions, and I wanted to really try and put some words out there that made people consider, that it isn't just in the United States, it isn't just in big cities, it happens close to home, and it affects many different people.
I'm very glad that you got to express that story and express this through the song, because what the world needs now more than ever is the understanding of each other, not as people, but culturally, emotionally, mentally, physically, sociology, all the ologies. Like, you need people need love and support, and that more than ever. But we also need to face the realities of the negative attributes of the world, and music is such a beautiful platform to do that with, because you are letting out a piece of art that you yourself have expressed, unfiltered, untainted by X amount of factors. So thank you so much for sharing that, and I truly hope that everyone takes a listen to all these songs. We have a variety of phenomenal different stories here. And with that, I think we've covered the bases. We've had a wonderful conversation. I want to thank The Rock, Tania. Thank you to JF, Tania, and Daniel for sitting down with me and having a phenomenal conversation just about songwriting themselves, life. We covered a lot of bases here, and I'm very happy to have been a part of this. So thank you for allowing me to be here with y'all, and thank you guys for watching this section of OMA Talks. On to the next one.
Much.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay. Thanks, Matthew.
City's crumbling down, people running all around, round. Is this heaven, is this hell? A crowded place, but there's no sound. Fibers of society stretched and pulled apart. Now we're digging through the debris for our torn out hearts. People said it could be worse. Some said we could be cursed. But we could have been so much better without vampires in power. Not willing to compromise, apologize, too afraid to criticize, antagonize, all in a corner paralyzed, in a world polarized.
scoop the sawdust up. To no applause or chanting of my name, not like back when I was a pup. Dropping gloves to cheers in junior A. Now if I be clean, I get my carries. It takes more than you know. You see, I've cleaned up more than this kind of mess. And I'm more than just this name tag on my chest. I've got a tattoo to remind me. The two wolves fighting inside of me. One is good, one is bad. The one that I feed wins every time. I've been told.
White picket lines and red spray paint, crosswalks and blind spots. You're whispering your slurs and your curse words written in the street. Black lives scatter underneath your feet. Planks in Marietta, your history repeats. Planks in Marietta, there's stains in your streets. Planks in Marietta, your grass grows green. What else do you hide behind your skin knees? Your sticks and your stones never broke my bones, but your name still haunts me. Planks in Marietta, your history repeats. Planks in Marietta, there's stains in your streets. Planks in Marietta, your days grow long. They echo on your sidewalks and roll off your tongue. Planks in Marietta, planks in Marietta. Is change gonna come? Is change gonna come? Is change gonna come? Is change gonna come?
Here we are back again. Thanks very much, Matt. Much appreciated for that. That's awesome. Thank you very much. I'm Will, and here we are now with the nominees for the music video of the year 2021. 2020, 2021. Who even knows anymore? Could be 2019. We're all still stuck in this thing. So let's go around this round table of ours here, and we'll start with Gal. Who I believe is some distance away from us.
Oh, yes. I'm in Croatia right now. I've been touring around in Slovenia.
Uh-huh.
So we just went for a swim and, to take some time off from touring. And it's really nice. We're here by the seaside and just enjoying the Mediterranean.
I think that's probably the furthest that I've ever spoken to anybody on this. This is that's really kind of interesting. We'll just do quick introductions, and then we'll get back to specifics. Dead Defined. Yeah, I have no idea why your parents decided to call you that, but maybe you can.
That defines the name of my solo project. My name's actually Craig Gjurin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a solo project I've been doing since 2018, and I'm based in Uxbridge right now.
Excellent. I think Gal originally is you're Uxbridge too.
No, I'm Oshawa.
Oh, you're Oshawa. All right, good. All right, and then speaking of Oshawa, we've got this other crew here who've been doing some pretty amazing things actually this past year. So Judgement, why don't you guys all introduce yourselves?
Yeah, my name is Ev. I'm the frontman of Judgement.
My name is Riley. I play the drums, and I'm also a vocalist in Judgement. My name is Cam. I play bass in the band.
And I'm James, and I play guitar. They don't let me sing.
Excellent. And you are the Judgement.
We are Judgement. Yeah, we're from Oshawa town. So yeah, thanks for having us. Yeah, playing a show.
Yeah, well, it's great. It's great. I think you've got a few nominations, don't you? I believe you do too. And and talk to me about the video, Dan, because it's again it's a very interesting sort of project. How to give me all the details and story about that.
Yeah, well, the video was actually it was shot by my wife, actually, and she was pregnant at the time. It was one day before my son was born, so it was just like, and the song is about being pregnant and having this life inside of you. If you listen to the lyrics, it's about that.
It's beautiful
so
shot.
It's very personal. It's very personal.
Yeah, where was it actually shot?
Oh, it was shot near Oshawa, through Oshawa, Uxbridge, some the fields, and in a special location in Slovenia, in Škofja it's called.
Okay.
Near Škofja. So it's a mixture of but I've managed to get the colors together, so it looks like one. It's basically it's about feeling. It has no story. I mean, the story is in the music.
I think this is, to me, that's kind of what's interesting, because it's a very sort of it's revealing visually and hopeful and indicates something is maybe that idea of rebirth, like you said, or birth. But then you've got this thing where it's like you've got this secret that you're still holding back, and I like the tension between the two.
Yeah, when usually when you get this information that you're becoming a father, well, you have to wait a few months before you tell somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess you guys can. You know what I'm talking about. And so it's that secret time you have. Actually.
It is. That's pretty awesome, man. It's pretty beautiful too. Yeah, it is pretty beautiful.
And the second,
but it really is just yours, isn't it? Yeah, it really is just yours. Yeah.
Yes.
And, and well, thank you for sharing that secret and that moment. I think that's a fairly beautiful thing. And let's jump from that very, very beautiful moment to something somewhat darker from Dead Defined and working with the fabulous Luke Camozzi. Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us how that one all came about.
Well, I'm a mental health advocate, so I'd like to speak about the problems that are going on in these days. It was based around drug abuse, mental health. That's why it is a bit dark. But I think we pulled it off. We had a really good meeting at the end of the song. We put up some flashcards, and just to really nail home how bad the crisis is for needing mental health and addictions help in this country.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything sort of like personal in that song and in that thing? Is this coming from a lived experience, a known experience?
It comes from a past relationship. I don't speak of who it is, but it's private to me. But I'm sure other people have gone through it with their relationships and can relate. So we've had a lot of people reach out and say that they can relate a lot with the music and the video, which is great in a way. But at least it hits at home the images that you'll see in the video and the overall song and the content of it. So
yeah, it's really well done, and like I said, I'm familiar with Luke's work, but it's the again. There's a split screen. There's a slide back. There's a real sort of like.
There's a storyline to it. There's a bit of a storyline if you look into it. Yeah.
Yeah, there is, but also sort of like just visually,
Mm-hmm.
It's visually it's somewhat chaotic and strange,
Mm-hmm.
and at times difficult to watch. Not just the content matter as such, but just the way you shot it. You guys was this all coming from Luke, or is this like did you have input onto all of this? Whose visualization is this?
It's mostly Luke's, yeah, but we come up with a lot of stuff on the spot for what works best, lighting, everything else. We had a small crew. There was only, I think, 4 or 5 of us at the time. So it was really just kind of play it as it goes, really. But Luke had we had everything. He had everything, laid out ahead of time before we started shooting. So he's really talented. He's incredible.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah, and where was the show? Was it shot up in Uxbridge?
We shot this in Toronto, actually, at the rehearsal studio.
Okay.
One of the rooms, we rented the room for, I think it was like 10 or 12 hours, and we blacked the whole room out, set up all the lighting. Long day, but it worked out really well. So no regrets on that part.
Wow, so it was all shot into one place. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. And speaking of long days and shooting in one place, Judgment's video is pretty kind of cool, shooting in one place, and it's a pretty important place, I think, too, in terms of Durham region's history of schwa rock. Yeah. Tell us about how that one came about, because there had to be some negotiations, I imagine.
Well, we're good friends with Ed at the music hall and stuff, and Terry as well. So it kind of fell into place. We went there to actually just check out the new spot. For those of you who don't know, it's the new music hall in Oshawa here. So we went to check it out, and then I don't know, we were just astounded by how the place looked and how grungy it was, and we were like, this would be a sick place for a music video, and kind of just fell into place from there.
So tell me about the storyline director, who choosing all those folks who are involved in it.
So we've been working with our buddy, and we actually met him playing shows a few years ago around Ontario. His name's Roberto Spadafora. He's directed a couple of our videos. And so as Ev was saying, when we were invited out there, we thought it'd be a really sweet place to film a video just because it was like dark. It was really grimy. The whole place is under construction. And we had been kind of looking for a place to film a video. Define Alive, the song. It was basically we wrote it about trying to find a purpose in life, and like struggling to find a purpose in your life, no matter who it is. And I guess the storyline, we kind of we wanted to make it seem like, for those who have seen the video and for those who haven't, there's like 2 characters that are walking around aimlessly throughout the building. They're both blindfolded, and it almost seems as if they're trying to figure out how to get out. And we wanted to basically articulate, like, through the visual aspects of the video, we wanted that to be seen through the lyrics of the song. Can you guys add to that? Like,
it was basically kind of just like touching on that feeling of being trapped and not knowing who you are. And then towards the end of the music video, the blindfolds come off, the tape comes off their mouths to kind of express that they're finding themselves, found their purpose, and they're moving forward with their lives. So that venue kind of captured the entire dark spot and then a dark place that someone might have in their life. And towards the end of the video, they escape the building to kind of like shine light that they're past that situation and can finally move forward in their lives.
Yeah, it's the old dungeon building too, which was really cool. Like, there's a lot of history there. They're making it into a new venue. But yeah, Rob's a great director, and he worked really hard on it with us, and we were super stoked with the end result.
And I'm going to wish you all well. The videos are awesome. You guys have also, been doing great work. And again, looking for opportunities where they come, not necessarily just locking yourself into just what happens to be. Using all the resources around you, and it's that ongoing sort of creativity that I think that we're celebrating this year. Especially like with Judgement. I know we had a bit of a project that you were involved in with the Playground, and you were doing the food drive. So there's lots of ways of approaching things, and in all of these 3 videos, I think individually and distinctly, they demonstrate that a great creativity, great innovation. So I applaud you all for your work, and I look forward to seeing you all in person and having a proper chat at some point. All right,
let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. What an amazing world it is. Oh, what an amazing world it is. Under your heart. Sweet simplicity of living. Viens ici, regarde nos tronches. Looks just like you and me. Just like you and me. I've got a secret. Oh, I've got a secret not to be told to anyone. I've got a secret. Oh Lord, I've got a secret not to be told to anyone. To anyone. What an amazing face you've got. Oh, what an amazing face you've got. Shining so bright. Sweet simplicity of giving. Viens ici, regarde nos tronches. Looks just like you and me.
Just like you
and me. I've got a secret. I've got a secret not to be told to anyone. I've got a secret. Oh Lord, I've got a secret not to be told to anyone. To anyone. To anyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Will. I'm now here for the final OMA talk of the day with some of the nominees for Artist and Band of the Year, as well as Album and Single of the Year. Today, I'm joined by Lindsay, Schoolcraft, Hunter, Sheridan, and Valdii. How y'all doing?
Good.
Good. I'm very glad to be hanging out with y'all, and I feel like we're going to have a very, very diverse conversation with some of the people we have in this group, so this is going to be a lot of fun. To wrap this up, so I'm going to get each of you to go around and just introduce your name and then the album or single or what you're nominated for. Let's start with Valdii.
Okay, well, I'm Valdii, and I'm nominated for Single of the Year for my song The Mirror, and it's also the title track off of my newest EP called The Mirror.
Lindsay?
I'm Lindsay Schoolcraft, and I've been nominated for Artist or Band of the Year for being an artist and bringing some worldly attention to good old Oshawa.
Good old Oshawa. Hunter?
My name's Hunter Sheridan. I was nominated for Album of the Year with my debut album Life is a Dream, and also Single of the Year for my first single I put out in 2021 called To You, My Friend.
Well, I think that was a beautiful transition actually into the next section I want to talk about, which is like the drive and inspiration behind making music, because every artist has a different drive, but there is some sort of commonality in all of it, that there's that urge that you have to keep moving forward and keep creating content. Hunter, let's start with you on this. Like, what are some of the drives and passions and inspirations behind the music you make?
Yeah, a lot of it for me, I for a long time, I sort of just only wrote about life experience and things that I was really familiar with. I need to have some sort of like grounding on something that I'm familiar with. So, writing a song about, I don't know, a crazy situation that I'm sort of separated from, it's difficult for me to really like be honest about it and sort of try to connect with it. So a lot of times I'll write about things that, I'm thinking about or I'm feeling, or I'll, maybe a character in a book or something that I'm interested in, their perspective and stuff like that. So for me, it's just a way to kind of sift through all the crap of your life and really pull out, how you're actually feeling, and really spending time to sit down and, instead of just thinking about it, you're actually writing a song and making music with it. If you can get to the end of it and write a whole full thing, you've really got this. You're like, okay, I really filtered out all the emotions I had, and here it is. That's really what I was trying to say. And then when you release it and somebody else connects with it, sends you a message about how it impacted them, which is totally different than what you interpreted for yourself. That's really, really cool.
Lindsay, how about yourself?
Well, I think like when it comes to writing music, it's just really it's so personal, and it's like having a conversation with life and trying to understand it. Like, I'm going through this hard time. How do I describe it? How do I get through it and heal from it? Whether it's writing lyrics and having a conversation lyrically, or writing a classical piece, and really, I find it's more of a challenge to pull out the emotion of the situation without words and lyrics. Is very interesting. It's kind of like the soundtrack of life, But for me, I think it's always just been wanting to tell those stories and get them out, and knowing that it's healing me, but someone else is going to hear this, and it's going to heal them too. And I think that's really that beautiful exchange. But this last year. Yeah, this last year has been really about music production. And I think going into that producer role for me, producing other artists and co-producing a lot of my own music, that's like where the magic is. Like that is my high, that's my drug. So yeah, sticking to it and just overseeing the vision and letting it come out. It's really a magical thing.
Valdii, how about you, man? Talk to me about some of the drives and passions behind what you're doing.
Yeah, well, like, touching on, like, years ago when I was writing music with the band, first off, like, I found back then I wasn't really writing for myself. I was writing, like, a lot of the stuff was just, like, an idea. It wasn't, like, very personal. So when I switched over as a solo artist and as Valdii, every single thing that I've written is, like, completely from my heart, and it's very personal, and every single story that I write about, just everything is literally coming from like experiences that I've had or something that I'm feeling. So I think that was a really big switch for me. Also, and I just want to say, like, when I don't write for a long time, or if I don't play or sit down and play or record, and I think that happened a lot for me actually through COVID, I just really get depressed. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, I get so down on myself, and then I just realize one day I'm like, shoot, like I gotta play again, like I gotta write again, and then all of a sudden, like, hey, this is my happy space, and it just makes me so happy. So that's kind of me and my writing in a nutshell.
And I know one of you mentioned this briefly about last year being a difficult time because you all know this, especially the industry changed literally all over the place in so many different aspects, and a big aspect of it is touring. And now that we're seeing things starting to open up, have you had any plans for doing any more shows yet? Or are you still going to wait because there's a possibility of lockdown coming soon, but we don't know yet, and everything's still up in the air? Lindsay, any plans for live or anything like that?
Well, no, not at the moment, because in my world, to get up on stage as a solo artist, hiring everyone, and plus my 2 band members left and went to the other side of the country. I'm like, thanks guys, bye. So I'll still fly them out, but it's a lot of logistics, and it's like when it comes to touring and live music, it's a whole other monster. There's being in the studio, there's promotion, and then there's live. And I feel like live is the biggest monster because you can scale it in such a way. Like, you can have pyros and backing dancers. I don't know why that's a thing in metal right now. And there's just so much.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Because why not?
Because
wow. Okay. Never
there's
knew
people
that.
who are like, I'll dance to your band's music, and I'm just like, this band Africa
I dance
does it
to
now.
baby
Like,
metal happily, thank you.
Yeah, no, fine. Baby metal's wicked. Like whatever floats your boat, or sinks it. Like, I don't care. But it's a whole other monster. And I've been in this. Valdii, I understand what you're saying. Like, if you're not doing music, you're sad. Like, I've been in this place since COVID hit, where I've literally put out an album. I've put out a ton of singles, and I'm still going. I've got this new chamber black metal band called Antiqua, and we're like, chamber classical music to black metal, and it's like we got an album to finish. So live music is not really in my wheelhouse right now. It's just kind of like, okay, like when I know I can do something and it won't get canceled, then I'll do it.
Pretty safe bet, pretty safe way to approach it. Valdii, how about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, same with me, Lindsay. I was writing a lot. I recorded. I just put out like tons of singles through COVID, and I even just like compiled my singles and called it an EP, and I got re-released singles. But I added one more song just to, make it a little bit new. But yeah, for shows, I don't have anything I don't have any tours completely lined up yet, but there are talks. There's definitely talks of stuff happening right now and jumping on different shows and tours with other artists. But nothing set in stone.
Hunter, any plans for shows or anything like that?
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because everything gets canceled, and it's been strange. The year before COVID, I think I was just shy of 200 shows, and that's what I was doing full time. And it was like all of a sudden, just hit a halt, and everything. I think I had to cancel so many gigs, and with everybody too. So it's cool to start coming back. I've done gigs, here and there. I'm playing on September 17th actually for the Winding Roads Festival in Port Perry. But other than that, nothing set for a tour. Like Valdii just did. I'm going to be putting out an EP at the end of the year, and maybe talking about doing some touring December, January, February time. But yeah, we'll see how this whole thing goes for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
All right. So that's going to wrap it up for the artist, band, single, and album nominees chat. I want to thank Hunter Sheridan, Valdii, Lindsay Schoolcraft, everyone who's in this live chat while we were recording. And also thank you to the Oshawa Music Awards for inviting me to be a part of the festivities. I feel very honored to be one of the hosts. And shout out to Will as well for being the other half of this hosting duo. So thank you to Will as well. So thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you around for the next event. Take it easy.
Thanks for joining in.
Fall from grace was a classic. I lost my way. The heart is magic, but all I know is I'm falling apart. Yeah. When I stare in the mirror, I go blind. Don't look what I become lately. I hate me, can't hide. Could it be any clearer in my mind? Don't let this be what I made it. This fake double up. like it, drawing me nearer. Would like it, living alone in the mirror. Living alone in the mirror. There's something spiritual, but yet delusional. I'm so uncomfortable. I know when I stare in the mirror. Don't like what I become lately. I hate me, can't hide. Could it be any clearer in my mind? Don't like this bed, but I made it this fake double line. Would I like it, drawing me nearer. Would I like it, living alone in the mirror. Living alone in the mirror. It was in and on our way through cold water. When you looked right at me, you said we're right where we should be. We were driving with the windows down that night in Michigan. Even though we didn't make a sound, I was all in. All the interstates we passed, tried to make that moment last. Going slow, but it felt so fast. Can't seem to hold it back. That night it echoes. Headlights and motels pass. Hold tight, don't let go. Hold tight, don't let go. We were driving with the windows down that night in Michigan. Even though we didn't make a sound, I was all in. All the interstates we passed, trying to make that moment last. Going slow, but it felt so fast. You know I was all in. Since Michigan, you know I was all in. Since Michigan.
Oh man, that was so much fun talking to those folks. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Getting to know the information, getting to know your artists. Know your artists, support your local artists, no matter where they are, right? Because they're traveling all over the world. Fair play to them, right? Very proud of each and every single one of them. They do fabulous work, all of them, right? So thank you for watching the OMA Talks. Again, the piece of paper again, so we'll just go with this. We invite you to come back at the same time on the same day next week, Thursday, September 16th at 7 p.m. for the second broadcast, which is our OMA Honors. That's our Hall of Fame, the OMA Hall of Fame Lifetime Achievement. This year it'll be Artemis Chartier, who is fabulous. We love Artemis. She's done so much great work, and I'm very, very happy that she's getting this award. And also we will be honouring the work of the late Andy Gondek, the late Al Cole, and the wonderful Ivan Berry. So I think that's something that you all should be tuning in, because these are the people who've set the foundation for what it is that we are building here. So let's see what else we got here, for instance. So that will be the live award show, September 23rd. And then a big shout out to our wonderful sponsors. First, I appreciate each and every single one of them. All been wonderful stepping up and helping us with this, which is our brand partners are Durham Economic Development and Tourism and the Spark Centre. Our award sponsors, 360 Insights, Trent University Durham GTA, Durham College's 94.9 The Rock, the Biltmore Theatre, and our funding partner, SoCan Foundation. Thank you very much. So, And lastly, a special thanks for the support of Long and Quaid, Durham College's Music Business Management program, and also Chalet Studios. So thank you all for tuning in. This is the OMAs 2021 presented by the Durham Region, Economic Development and Tourism. You all have a very good night, and we will see you again next week. Thank you very much.